We have successfully branched our ontology in memory, proving we can onboard mock operatives inside an isolated sandbox without touching our production database. But strategic planning requires more than just modeling a single sandbox. Operators need to compare alternative futures side by side to evaluate trade-offs. First, a structural layout update. Off camera, I added a status and security clearance column directly to our object table, since these are the properties we will modify. Having them visible in the table is mandatory to see our sandbox deltas. Now, let's head back to the editor to configure our side-by-side comparison matrix. So, beneath here, we want to add a Scenario Selector widget. This is what will allow our operators to check boxes and compare multiple plans side by side. So in the Properties sidebar, we're going to map our candidate scenarios to our dynamic scenarios list variable. And the output, we want the selection to be kind of what it is, Scenario Selector 1. We're going to use that as the checkbox triggered state array for our dashboard. Give it a fancy name like selected scenarios for comparison, but I'm feeling impatient, so let's just move on. So from here on, we're going to connect our table's comparison engine. And over here, after you've toggled on compare against scenarios, you want to map it directly to our new selector output variable. So at this point, our app should be able to use our comparison array to query our sandbox branches. And let's just give it a test. We're just going to create quickly 2 scenarios. And in scenario 1, Shadow Falcon will have her status be active. And in scenario 2, we're going to revoke. So you see the status is detained here, and in scenario 1 it is active. But now if I select scenario 2, you see a side-by-side. So because we revoke Shadow Falcon's clearance in one of the scenarios, the table dynamically here highlights the delta. So this translates complex data projections into clean side-by-side strategic choices for decision makers. Granted, this is a very simple simulation. So we've built an interactive planning matrix, giving our operators the ability of comparative visibility over alternative futures. But a simulation is only useful if we can act on it. So if a commander evaluates the trade-offs and improves the sandbox plan, we have to persist those decisions. So in the final episode, we're going to show you how to merge these sandbox edits back into the live production ontology database.